What's happening, YouTube? Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film with a brand new PRLostGalaxy 2014 toy review, and the first in a while. So to kick that off, my review on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Lost Galaxy Blue Ranger from Hasbro, and here I am. First Power Rangers Lightning Collection review in a year since my Dino Thunder Blue Ranger review from last year. So, Lost Galaxy Blue, I had to get it when there was the least convenience, and I finally got Kai, so now I can finally finish up Lost Galaxy when I get that team finished, because Lost Galaxy Green is available for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse and on Amazon or wherever you want to get Lost Galaxy Green, as well as other Rangers slated for next year for 2023, like the Wild Force Blue Ranger, Dino Thunder Yellow, and Adam as the Black Mighty Morphin Ranger from that wave. But particularly if you want to finish Lost Galaxy Green will be in the Lightning Collection wave directly after the wave that I haven't got to, because I really need to catch up on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, because it's been so long. I've been seeing a lot of new releases being announced, like a Zord Ascension Project, Astro Megazord, and Dragon Zord coming out for 2023. So the only way to get Lost Galaxy Green, you're going to have to pre-order it, and if you get it earlier, kudos. But for some of us here in the United States, we're going to have to wait until March of 2023 or earlier than that for Lost Galaxy Green to come up. But right now I got Blue, Kai Chen, the Blue Galaxy Ranger, since after all I already got Leo and the Magna Defender twice, with Leo twice. So I got my Blue Galaxy Ranger earlier this month on Amazon for a bargain price of $9, but it was really $17 or so, because they had a limited. I bought my Lost Galaxy Blue for a limited time, offer of $9, and that was pretty cheap, because Lost Galaxy Blue is one of those, yet again, like those other Blue Rangers, like Beast Morphers Blue, that's been a peg warmer for some time, and I figured, okay, since I'm a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan myself, why not get Kai Chen, one of my favorite Blue Rangers of Power Rangers. So this is what the box looks like, because after Lost Galaxy Green comes out with Damon, when we get Lost Galaxy Pink with Kendrix and Carone, and Yellow with Maya, Galaxy Green will be the last Lost Galaxy Ranger with this box design, because starting next year in 2023, future Power Rangers Lightning Collection box arts will be like closed boxes, so that you won't see what it looks like from the clear view of what's shown and presented in boxes like this anymore. Yeah, and also same go for Hasbro's other brands like Fortnite and Ghostbusters and Star Wars and Marvel and Transformers and G.I. Joe with collector figure boxes like these. So anyway, let's get on with Lost Galaxy Blue and go Galactic! Okay, as with like all of my other Power Rangers Lightning Collection reviews I've done within these last 2 years, let's take a look at a few accessories before I talk about the figure itself. Starting with this lightning effect piece that comes with the Quasar Saber, as seen in the product images. Now, this lightning effect piece is all but the same. It's the same I've seen from various figures that have this effect piece surrounding a sword, like the SPD Shadow Ranger or so. With this time the color for the Blue Ranger is this yellowy lightning haze, but this would have been a great lightning effect piece for when we get Lost Galaxy Yellow down the line, because it would fit and more appropriate with her figure when we get Lost Galaxy Yellow in 2023. And maybe probably for Green, because Lost Galaxy Green has a similar lightning effect piece surrounding his Quasar Saber as well, so not really much important on that piece, so put that down. But it's same as usual, as with every other Power Rangers Lightning Collection figure, is these interchangeable hands. If you want to switch these hands out and take those default hands and switch them, you may. So yeah, same old hands as usual. Now the Quasar Saber, now we have two different versions of the Quasar Saber, since the Lost Galaxy Red Ranger that was from Wave 8 with Dino Thunder Blue, SPD Yellow, and Zeo Ranger 4 Green Wave. Now Leo came with a Quasar launcher. I guess the only way I'm going to have to get Quasar launchers for the other Rangers if I have to buy 4 different Lost Galaxy Reds and modify the Quasar launchers for each Ranger. And that's probably going to be like the only way you're going to have to do Quasar launchers for the other Rangers, if you may. Because basically this Leo right here, this came with the Quasar launcher, but it would have been cool if instead of the, with the Quasar, with the Quasar Saber, both the full Saber and this, and then his trans dagger down here, and yeah, the head skull for Kai. It would have been great if they all included with Quasar launchers, maybe in the future for future re-releases of the Rangers, and even with some modified heads. Because while I do mind the lightning pieces, while I do not the lightning pieces, the helmet sculpts for some of the Rangers, even though when I look at the Galaxy Rangers helmet sculpts, well, when I get to the figure of Blue, again, they should have came with Quasar launchers. If you got the Quasar Saber, trans dagger, it would have been great. Quasar launcher as that next accessory, and eventually down the line we'll get the Galaxy Rangers with the Lights of Orion pieces also. Now on to the trans dagger itself. This is the Blue Rangers Cosmic Claw formation, while red had the Magna Talon, green, when we get Lost Galaxy Green later, he has the Trans Blaster, but the other Rangers can do Trans Blasters too, not just the Green Ranger. Pink has the Beta Bow, and yellow has the Delta Daggers. Now, why is it? Now, how come the Red Ranger gets the Quasar launcher, but when we get green, pink, and yellow next, since I finally got blue, he's the first Galaxy Ranger in the Lightning Collection to come with a trans dagger? That is odd. Like, well, especially when we get Lost Galaxy Yellow soon in the near future, the trans dagger accessory. It seems like everybody's going to get the trans dagger accessory, unless the reason they probably did is because they want to recreate that one image of the Rangers posing a certain way that you've seen anytime you Google search anything Power Rangers Lost Galaxy on the internet. There's that image with the red with Quasar launcher, blue with the trans dagger, and so is yellow and pink, and Magna Defender with his Defender Blaster, and the Green Ranger just wielding his Quasar Saber. I think that's probably why they did these accessories, because they were going by those images that we saw of them as the Ginga Men in a certain way recently, and also as the Galaxy Rangers. Now, I mind this trans dagger piece, but the Cosmic Claw, but at least it's fully painted, it's probably accurate, but the only thing that's not accurate is how my little nitpick is that, well, in the TV show, the trans dagger handles were actually black, but they left it as gray, but I'll fix that probably later. As for the Quasar Saber pieces, we got the main sword of the Quasar Saber. Well, I'll do a little comparison with Reds. I've noticed that the Blue Ranger's Quasar Saber has more gold on this as opposed to, again, on the Red Rangers. Well, when you look at the Quasar Saber, actually hold that right there for a moment. Now, when you look at the Quasar Sabers, there's a notable difference in terms of the sizing and the scaling of this. Now, this red Quasar Saber was from that Psycho Red 2-pack I got 2 years ago with the Red Ranger. Though I wish that when we got the Wave 8 release, instead of the Quasar launcher, they should have gave Leo his Quasar Saber too. I mind the Quasar launcher, but the Quasar Sabers are the primary, most important weapon to fight against forces of evil in their season, and there are so many notable differences. While there's some bit of black underneath, within the Saber, Blue's got some bits of white in there, which feels, well, again, I'm not going to completely nitpick about it, but if you notice these little differences, if you look closely at them. And then onto this part of the Saber, this is a much darker gold, while this is a more premium bright gold, kind of like honey mustard gold on the Blue Ranger's Quasar Saber. Now the grip handles are the same given the look, and this this texture of the graphic of the Saber is less translucent, while this feels a little translucent and ingrained and sculpted onto the sword. And you can barely get a good glimpse at the gorilla symbol on Blue's Quasar Saber, but Red's has an all outer black design to his saber. Man, that really feels really inconsistent, but I'm not going to complain. But they're okay Quasar sabers, but I've noticed some differences once I got blue and versus red. But wait until we get Galaxy Green, and when we get his Quasar saber, and by the time I pre-order his saber later. And then as for the closed Quasar saber formation, now I don't know what was the point of this, because now also here's another difference from Red's release, because actually they're both the same on the Wave 8 Galaxy Red and the Wave 10 to 11 release of Galaxy Blue. Okay, now here's another difference with the Quasar saber folded formations. You can get more gold here for the gorilla symbol, but Red's Quasar saber folded on the, you know, as a matter of fact, you got both the gorilla symbols on this, but not much. But you don't have a lion symbol on the back of this, but there is the lion symbol on the front of this folded sword formation. They both got the same color of gold, so that's another kept difference. The accessories are done. Now let's take a look at Kai's head sculpt, because this, even from when I looked at from the product images for Galaxy Blue, now this looks like a great representation of Archie Cow playing the character, and it does look like a spot-on likeness for him. Although some bits of that likeness kind of reminds me a little bit of Nathan Drake from the Uncharted games, if Nathan Drake was Kai's ethnicity and as the Blue Ranger. But then again, this is still a spot-on likeness, and I actually dig it. If only if they also went with Kai's hairstyle from later Lost Galaxy episodes, like during the Captain Mutiny episodes in the end, where his hair was like like he had bangs from his hair and stuff. That would have been a good spot-on likeness, just like the latter half of Lost Galaxy era Leo with his head sculpt. While this felt more like them capturing how Kai looked from the first couple of episodes of Lost Galaxy. And even, I still have the old Leo head from that 2-pack, which, like I said, kind of looks pretty bland in standards. But again, this was back when Hasbro was just starting out doing the Lightning collection, while I say 2021 Leo looked a whole lot better. But wait until when we get Damon and Kendrick's, Corone, and Maya's heads. But man, and then again, with Mag the Defender, now that it's been 2 years, 3 years since I've gotten Mag the Defender, I can't for some reason take off his helmet to pop on this Leo head, since if we couldn't get Mike, well, I don't know if I still, after 3 years since I had Mag the Defender, I still can't get his helmet off and pop that old Leo head I had from that Psycho Ranger 2-pack with him and Leo. While again, this was still the better looking Leo, and like I said, this looked more like the Jerry O'Connell, actor Jerry O'Connell if he was Leo sort of head. And Kai's head was and again, this is a great representation of his actor likeness and the hair detail and how they sculpted the detail in the hair wells, and then the eyes and how serious Kai always looked. Even heck, Leo isn't even hardly smiling. Well, barely smiling, but even he's looking serious. But wait until we get Damon, and like again, Damon, Maya, Kendricks, and Corone, when we get their head sculpts later on. So let's take a look at Leo and Kai specifically with the head sculpts of their unhelmeted looks. And here we have a good glimpse of Kai and Leo without the helmets on the figures, and especially looking at Kai specifically since this is his review. And actually, not so bad. And also, let's see how they look holding their helmets underneath their armpits. Wow, that looks so impressive. Keep it going, Hasbro. Keep it going. Just 3 more Rangers, even though, again, when we get Pink with Corone later on, but I really want to focus more on the original 5 Galaxy Rangers together before Corone came along. But this is a decent way of representing the team without the helmets on. Kind of like also later on when they put the Quasar Sabers back in the final episode of Lost Galaxy. This is just so darn good. And now let's take a look at Kai and Leo standing together. without their helmets on, you know, helmets on with the helmets underneath their armpits, because this is a decent portrait. Because once I get the other Galaxy Rangers, when Hasbro does finish this team, I do want to see how they look and take a photo and post it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and everywhere I go with the Galaxy team posed like this. But though, you know how tricky it is for me trying to keep the helmets underneath their arms when holding them, like how any Ranger should, especially when posing them with their helmets underneath for the action figure portraits. Although I've noticed how Kai, even from the angle of the camera here, it makes it look like Kai is a little taller than Leo, given, well, actually they're all the same scale, 6 inches, so no Ranger should be taller than any other. But when you look at this, like, wait until when I get Damon, when I get Lost Galaxy Green Damon, and see how the Galaxy boys stand together. Although if Magna Defender was Mike, that would have been great too. Sorry, Magna. But and also I'm getting vibes of Kirk and Spock from Star Trek here, like Kai being like Spock and Leo being like Captain Kirk of Rangers. Because again, Lost Galaxy with Terra Venture is kind of like Star Trek with the Starship Enterprise crew, when you think about it. And also, I can't wait until when Lost Galaxy Pink comes out with Kendricks, so I can do my Lost Galaxy Trinity, Kendricks, Kai, and Leo. And last but not least, before we close out the video, let's look at the Blue Galaxy Ranger in itself. And while I was not filming some parts of the review, and before I got to on point with what the video is about, I did played and fumbled a bit with some parts, like I do with every Lightning Collection video so far when it comes to pivoting kneecaps and elbows for most of these figures. Now, Galaxy Blue's ankle pivots, no, not ankle, like knee pivots, I mean like knee crunches. This one has a stiff knee crunch, and I'm trying not to break this because that's how it is with these figures, is, you know, how stiff and slow when trying to crunch my knee. Maybe this is probably from my figure. Everybody else probably should have a good should be fine with that, with their Galaxy Blue. And also with the butterfly joint here, that's you can do that like with every other figure, with the, you know, butterfly joints, and then the ab crunch and that 360 degree angle, as with every other Lightning Collection figure. We got that. I do like the way how the figure is painted, and I like how dark the blue is as opposed to most of the Blue Rangers I have so far, especially my last Blue Ranger. Now, Lost Galaxy Blue, maybe this is coming from my camera, but outside of the but off camera, this has a much darker blue tint going for it, because, you know, mixing blue and blue with this blue black background and this whole Blue Ranger figure with the bits of the white. Now, I understand, as much as people don't like the Lost Galaxy Ginga Man designs because of the Charlie Brown thing, but look, I'm a Lost Galaxy fan. I love these Rangers, even if I don't, even the suits have a lot to be left desired. Like I said before, the Galaxy Rangers have the best looking helmets in Power Rangers, but the suit overall has a lot to be left desired. But I get that. Just wait until you guys see my upcoming 2023 fan film reboot of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy on YouTube. Trust me. It's still going to have this, it's still keeping the designs classic, but modernizing it more like MCU with Power Rangers and stuff like that. And also minimalizing the amount of white that is on the Galaxy Ranger suits, like the belts being black. If you've seen the teaser trailer for my fan film of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy for 2023 recently, I had to minimize the amount of white on the uniforms, where there will be more of the black, like on the zigzags, and have like some black on the feet here and on the hands. But because again, the Galaxy Rangers, and even with the Sentai counterpart, the suits have always had so much white and not enough color to them. So I decided to add a little bit of more black to the uniform because, well, just you wait. Because yeah, and also this is a decent Blue Galaxy Ranger helmet sculpt. Although the gorilla eyes are a little squished, like, well, I'm not going to fully complain with that. And as with a few Ranger figures I have, there's another notice. Let's bring out Red again. I notice how Red's neckline is probably just about right, but why is Blue's neck a little squished and a bit like 1 inch longer than on Red's neck. Like, that's, well, and also they made the helmet a little squished, just like the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger helmet, for example. And I can see why this was such a peg-wormed figure, but man, it seems like Hasbro, sometimes they can do good with these figures, but at times they make some of the body proportions a bit too squished, or I don't know, especially from the head joints. They have to make, even with the helmets, like the helmets have to look squished and whatnot. I mean, even though this is a decent Blue Galaxy Ranger helmet sculpt, but the neck is one of the only things I do have to criticize about Galaxy Blue, is how long the neck looks a little bit when compared to Leo standing right next to him in comparison. That's a little strange, don't you think? And then again, when we get Galaxy Green, and yeah. But overall, decent figure. Wow. No surprise, this is why Hasbro wanted to recreate this for, so when we get green, pink, and yellow necks for the Lightning collection, you can recreate this. And I even tried an attempt in toy form. In conclusion, the Blue Galaxy Rangers Lightning collection figure was pretty good, although I don't understand what was with the proportions of the sculpting on the neck, and then the helmet being a little smaller than I thought. It just like the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger in his figure, and I do like the hue and color balance of blue on the figure as well, the amount of white. And now that we got 3 Lost Galaxy Rangers down, 3 more to go. And before you know it, we'll get the Lights of Orion modified Galaxy Rangers. I don't know if they'll do Magna Defender with Mike's head, so that way I can find a way to get this helmet off, or just have the helmet for Magna Defender still stay on. But yeah, it looks so much like that image, although I kind of raised Leo's Quasar launcher a little, way too high a little bit. Make it more accurate to that photo I was trying to recreate with them posing like this. But it's so close to why I can see why Hasbro wanted to recreate, want us to, once we get the figures, that's why it would explain why Leo had the Quasar launcher for a reason, just to, once again, recreate this. And once yellow, green, and pink come out, then you got everybody for Lost Galaxy. Everybody. So anyway, guys, that's it for my review on the Lost Galaxy Blue Ranger. I'll see you guys next time, and whenever I feel like, with new reviews and stuff on the channel. So anyway, everyone, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time.